Hey guys, Zerkaa here and welcome back to my Millwall career mode series, and we're moving right into the end of the season. I can see we're currently on 35 games, and thankfully to your guys' comments, I actually learned how to resign as a manager of the international team. As you just saw there, I just resigned from Finland, and we go into our first game against Liverpool. Now this is our penultimate game of the season, I believe. I believe we're actually on 36 games, and most of the rest of the people in the league are actually on 35. So we've got this game left, and then we've got Wigan game after this one, and then that's the end of the season. And we're currently sitting in 8th place, and we started this game really well. Vidal picking up a goal in the 9th minute on a nice little counter attack there. He got played through by Piazon, and then his pace and his ability to get past players got him past there, and then he finished it coolly into the back post. And then it's not too long after, we break again on the counter, and Akiza Imes plays a nice through ball across, and Vidal whips out the little cheeky skill shot. And I believe that's the first skill shot I've actually scored in career mode so far. And if you don't actually know how to do a skill shot or what it even is, you see there, I just like he kind of flicked it against his own heel and then scored. Basically what you do, if the ball is coming towards you, you just basically hold down LT and spam the hell out of B. And now sometimes you'll get a trick shot. It can be quite a different range of trick shots. Sometimes he'll spin around, do like a roulette and hit with his back heel, or he'll do other styles as well. But then sometimes he'll just do a P roller on the floor, because that's what is called as a rush shot. If you spam B when you're throwing goal, you get a rush shot as well. So if you spam B, it's like a shot on the floor. So sometimes you do one or the other, and depending on how good, I think, depending on the situation and how good the player is, that would determine whether or not you'll actually do a skill shot. Anyway, back to the game. Went into the game at half-time at 2-0 up, and they pulled back a goal in the 65th minute there, and due to a bit of panic in there, I thought I'd make a triple substitution just to kind of get some fresh legs out there, just to make sure I can hold on to the game. I brought on a new CDM and stuff. And then straight after, not too long after that substitution was made, I brought down their player in the box, and it wasn't really me making the tackle, it was just my player running into his player, and then I gave away the penalty. And then Carroll actually had that penalty saved, but he got straight onto the rebound and equalised. And there was like 2 goals within the space of 3 or 4 minutes, the same way that my goals were both scored within 3 or 4 minutes of each other. And then not too long after this, about 7 minutes after that goal was scored, they did a nice little cross into the box, and Carroll got his head on net. Cragno came out to actually catch it, and you see like he kind of like... he just kind of pussied out of the challenge, basically. He went for it and then didn't. I wasn't holding down Y or anything, that's just how it went. And unfortunately, they actually stole that win of us. So they made it's a nice comeback to fair Liverpool. That was a good comeback, and we actually lost the 3 points there. So we can still sit in 8th place, and I see we've got some teams have a game in hand over us, and some teams don't. So we've got our last game of the season coming up. We're currently sitting on 48 points in 8th place. With a -2 goal difference, and we can't really go up a place. We can go up a place, but it's unlikely. But it's also very likely we can go down a place. So winning against Wigan is a pretty crucial thing, and obviously Wigan aren't the strongest of teams. And I believe before this game they were actually sitting, if you look at that table there, they're actually sitting just outside of the relegation spot. West Ham being 3rd from bottom and Wigan being 4th from bottom. So this game was very crucial for them as well, because if they lost this game and West Ham won, West Ham would get out of the relegation place, and Wigan would get relegated. So it's obviously a crucial game for both of the teams. Not really for me, because I haven't really got anything to play for. Just more of a pride thing to play for. But we created a ton of chances in this first half, and I'm going to show you like a selection of the chances I had, some of the better chances. But I just couldn't seem to... It just seemed that one of those games where I couldn't seem to find a way through for a very long amount of time. One of the games where you just know something's not going... Something's just not in your favour, and no matter what shot or what chance I created, something would go wrong, whether the ball would bobble the wrong way or whether the goalkeeper would just save it. And they almost scored there, but luckily it hit Ake's shin and bounced off of the post, otherwise it probably could have gone in at the near post. Vidal had a shot here, and that was saved again, and Al Habsi had a really good game, to be fair, or first half of this game anyway. So now we're into the second half, and Wigan break on the counter-attack. And I put a nice little cross in, kind of gets his head on that, and Cragno makes a great save, but unfortunately rebounds straight to Di Santo, and Di Santo gets the first goal of the game, completely against the run of play. Definitely didn't deserve to actually be 1-0 up at all. He's completely all over them. And see there, look, enough of it going wrong. Like Piazon is through on goal, but for some reason his touch goes behind him. It's one of those things where, one of those games where you're just like, ugh, nothing's going my way. But we now move into the 89th minute, and I'd pushed all my players forward on ultra attacking. And it got to a stage here at the 89th minute where they was actually attacking me, and I managed to break on the counter. Morales running down the right-hand side. It's a CDM running down the right-hand side here. There's a nice little through ball cut back to Benzia, and Benzia shoots with his left foot and scores that. And Benzia basically was our substitution, and he seems to come on and actually save the game for us to pick us up a point. And it seems like in his celebration, he always continued to want to play football, even though he was celebrating his goal. But yeah, so Benzia was someone who we haven't really featured at all this season, and you guys have consistently told me that he's a good player, or maybe I should send him out on loan to get some game time. But I've just kind of preferred playing Dementes, obviously, because Dementes is a 16-year-old and he's already like 72 rated. And you guys kind of informed me that it would be worth playing him over everyone because he's likely to improve. Anyway, so we finished that season, and we get 5.4 million for our efforts and where we finished. It's amazing how much money. I was not expecting to get that much money for where we finished. We also got offered the job at Sweden, and again, I didn't really decide it was that good of a team to actually accept the offer, so I declined that one. We're now going to go look at the league table, the final league table, to see how everything panned out for you guys, and I'll try and give you a quick rundown. As you can see, Man City won the title, Chelsea being in second, United third, Spurs fourth, and Arsenal fifth. And we see us, we finished in 9th. We lost the 8th place to Aston Villa, unfortunately, at the last game there. We finished with a -2 goal difference, so not the best of goal differences considering where we actually finished. And as you see here, Swansea, West Ham and Southampton got relegated. Obviously, I'm going to be very happy about the West Ham getting relegated. Not so much the Southampton one, because I'm not a fan of... I'm not an actual Southampton fan, but I'm fond of that team because I have family that live in Southampton. So, yeah. Anyway, but West Ham got relegated. Obviously, one of Millwall's rivals, so I was obviously very happy about that. And now we saw that Piazon's contract was about to expire in 2 months. I wasn't even aware of that until that email came in. So, if I hadn't have got that email, I had to have misread it or something. We could have been losing Piazon. That could have been a good, like, 10 million down the drain. And also one of my best strikers, obviously, with the new partnership that I got between Vidal and Piazon. We've been playing a lot better, so I wanted to go into next season with that partnership going. And also, we had our loan with a future fee option for Akiza IMS set up, and we had to pay 5.5 million for him. And he wanted a salary of 50,000, which I was debating whether or not to do it or not. But I went for it, and I said, I might as well do it because he's already valued at 10 million, and I thought I could just sell him on. However, he didn't accept the contract offer because he enjoyed living here being Barcelona, and he didn't want to relocate ideally, but he could be persuaded. So he's saying that I should send him a new contract offer and then he could be persuaded. However, a flaw in EA's game, a flaw in FIFA itself, a flaw in career mode, is that contract offer there, as lots of you have told me, is your only chance. If that contract goes wrong, it's over. And I experienced this before anyway, but I actually submitted I went to submit a contract. I didn't actually have an adequate wage budget set out for it. So I went to my budget, I backed out into my budget allocation and changed it so I had less transfer money and more for my wage budget. And again, I couldn't get back to it. I completely lost that option to even buy him. So there's a flaw in their game there. So unfortunately, we actually lost out on Akiza IMAZ there. And that kind of thing we had set out for a loan with a future fee was just completely wiped, and that no longer existed. Because there was actually no way for me to access that contract anymore to send him a new contract. So that kind of sucks, because Akiza IMAZ was a great player for us. And I was happy to pay 5.5 million for him, but I don't think I'd necessarily be happy because he's currently valued 10.5, and you know it's Barcelona, they're going to ask for 15, 20, so I didn't really think it'd be worth it. Obviously I haven't even got that money anyway. But then, bit of happy news after loads of that bad news there, we didn't get a job offer from Portugal. And now, at first I was very happy about this, and then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, realistically, Portugal aren't that good of a side. I mean, yes, they got Ronaldo and they got Nani, but other than that, their team isn't the greatest. And I was in a Skype call with Toby whilst I was recording, and then he persuaded me and said, but you get to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. And that was the main selling point for me accepting this contract offer, purely because I get to play with Ronaldo, and I don't know, it seemed like it was worth it. I mean, it's worth just taking up Portugal and then playing with them, just using Ronaldo, and then eventually, hopefully, if I do well with Portugal, I'll get a job offer from someone like Brazil, Spain, England, Germany, one of those teams. I guess preferably Brazil or England, because I want Brazil because obviously I've got Nathan Ake in my team, I've got Piazon in my team, so I've got 2 Brazilians in my team that I could put straight in. And as you see there, and then EA rubs some salt in the wounds here and then say that as there was no confirmation of you confirming that you wish to proceed with the option to buy Akiza IMAZ, it's just going to fall through now. So that sucks completely, and we're now just getting our little rundown of our season from the board, just saying that they was happy with our domestic cup performance, and they also labelled my season as a super season, purely because I met the objectives that I set. Because initially they set me an objective to not get relegated, but then I changed it to 2-2 now. I changed it to finish mid-table, and I achieved that with ease. And that's the end of today's episode, and now next episode we will now move into the new season. And now I've got a little new outro you might have seen. On the left hand side will be a video of any choice. It could be, I don't know what it is at the moment, but it'll be a video of one of my old videos, and you can click on that and that will take you to that video. And on the right hand side there'll be a link to my second channel, as I've said loads of times, and that's basically going to be a new light-hearted channel with I'm going to play in different games, not just FIFA. Some like more random games here and there, and basically the idea is that I just post whatever I want on that channel, opposed to on this one where I'm doing more like structured episodes. So if you want to check that out, then please do, and I shall see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.